tonight at the Peterson Event Center. Denise Brooks, Jeffrey Smith, Kevin Sparrick, our officiating crew. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight in Pittsburgh. Panthers wearing their yellow, Notre Dame on the road in the navy blue. A record of 21-2, a sterling 12-0 in ACC play. Panthers do go inside to Faye. They said we have to know where we want to play to and through, and it starts with number 15.
Yeah, you definitely want to get her set up as you take a look at Notre Dame's starting five. And you might see some zone actually tonight from the Irish. We'll see. We heard that in today's shoot around. But number 20, Litu King, making her return back to Pitt, a school that she transferred from and had nothing but great things and vibes about this place here, and she was welcomed back.
Faye and Citron battling for the rebound. Hidalgo now to Miles. Maddie Westfeld healthy after missing the first 13 games of the season due to injury, and Olivia Miles showing she does not miss much when she takes a shot.
The extra time, the bounce, and the hit from the corner three, the extra pass from Citron, that's what I liked.
Here's your starting five for the Panthers. Brooklyn Miles been running the show, the transfer at the point guard spot. That'll be a reach in on Maddie Westfeld as Faye just working hard to get position all over the interior.
Now you see that point of entry up there at either the elbow, kind of that free throw line. It's going to give Faye some room to work. We've already seen how good her footwork is, right? That first possession, she got it, and she's able to just change direction so powerfully.
Nearly 18 points per game for Khadija Faye. It's higher than that, close to 19 in conference play. She's getting set again. Pass a little off the mark, but last touch by Notre Dame. 11 on the shot clock for the Panthers under the basket. Now, it can't be just her if they're going to hang with Notre Dame tonight. They're going to need a little help. Washington's good drive, and foul not called on the play. Eventually, it's just a travel.
Yeah, I think just some contact underneath the basket, but good no call. And you mentioned it, Jen. I mean, Washington is another player, an X factor, who needs to step up tonight. And those are the kind of shots you can't miss, and that's just Faye coming in tough for the rebound and landing off balance.
And watch this end of the floor. Notre Dame starts strong so often in games. Blocked Hidalgo that time by Faye.
What about that? Notre Dame scoring about 10 more points a game, usually than their opponents in that first quarter. And that's a quarter where Pitt sometimes struggles and they sometimes do really well. Right, that first one against SMU, 33 points in their first go around, but against Miami it was tough. So tonight, a great start for Pitt with an early lead.
And Michaela Johnson giving the Panthers the 1-point lead at the moment. Could they defend all the ball screens, the penetration by these great Notre Dame guards? That was the focus at shoot-around today for this Pitt team.
You know, one of the most difficult things with guards and everybody from Notre Dame who can drive is you've got so many other players moving without the basketball and moving into spots, just like you saw on the fast break. Citron filled in for the three, but then the extra pass. And it's difficult to really spread out your offense. So when they start driving, you want to stop the drive, yes, but there's so many good three-point shooters. How do you get out there?
Well, there are a lot of questions that Notre Dame asks of their opponents defensively. It's why they're number 2 in the country. Undoubtedly a Final Four contender. It looks like they're setting up that way, perhaps ready to defend their ACC tournament title. Neil Ivey in her 5th year as the head coach at Notre Dame. She's been there much longer as both a player and an assistant to our own Muffet McGraw now. For many years, 3 straight Sweet 16s for the Irish. 4 on the shot clock for Hidalgo. She looks up, takes the shot. That's another win for the Pitt defense.
Yeah, the Pitt defense, you know, they've talked about, of course, dribble drive penetration, but you see like Washington's coming over for the double team. She's their X factor on defense. She's really tough. She's got quick hands.
She's going backdoor on this play, and again misses the layup. 2 really good looks for the captain, Marley Washington. Hidalgo's 3 off the rim. Washington picks up the rebound and is ready to run. Behind the back, bring the flash, why don't ya?
That's how you make up for it. Great pass by Washington, who's just been Not all over this game. Missed a couple of point-blank layups, but you can see didn't get too down about it. Just got right back in the game. Made a spectacular play.
I think she's saying too that look,
good no look.
Notre Dame's not the only show in town, but Citron, cool as you please, drains the three. After the razzle-dazzle from Olivia Miles.
Well, there's a thing or two about showmanship that Notre Dame knows about. So, you know, Pitt just trying to add to the party.
Washenitz gets it over to Faye.
But that's a quality shot, right? To get that at the mid-post, the turnaround jump shot. You know, so far, Pitt's doing a great job of making it difficult for Notre Dame. But you have two potential top 5 picks and a future #1 pick, probably the WNBA, in your starting lineup.
And a menace defensively as well. Hannah Hidalgo, not only ACC Rookie of the Year last year, but Defensive Player of the Year as a freshman.
Not too many times Hannah Hidalgo is on the defensive end of those passes, and then Miles, who cuts through the defense with a crazy-looking Euro step. Gets it back out to Citron.
Elmore committing the foul, putting Hidalgo on the free throw line, where she's an 86% free throw shooter. A 6-0 Irish run for the last 44 seconds, now 7.
You see, I think Notre Dame did not like the way they started this game, so defensively they're bringing up the pressure, trying to add a little more. And that's a great take. And that's what Faye has to do tonight. Just no hesitation. Go right for it.
Tori Verdi, head coach for Pitt, said today at shoot-around, this is a toughness game. And one thing you cannot do is give up an open look. That's a second triple for Miles already.
Well, Miles helped herself plenty, creating that shot in some space. Little crossover in front of the defender, and the Pitt bench wanted a foul, but Miles, what I love about her game, she's never in a rush. She is going to do things in her own time, which is still probably quicker than anybody else in this building.
Top WNBA draft candidate, Miles, and not the only one on this Notre Dame team. Kazan Prosper into the game off the bench. Immediately gets a couple of points.
Just a terrific lift for the Irish off the bench. Somebody that's been shooting 63% lately, just killing it. Look at Faye, go to work.
And she looks determined out there, knows that she needs to have a big game to keep the Panthers in it.
It's the longevity, right? Can you be this way for 4 quarters and try to compete? Because you know, Tori Verdi talked to us about the speed and how much Notre Dame runs throughout the game, and that's a hard pace to keep up with. But so far, Pitt doing a good job in the first quarter. Notre Dame came to town to do just this, a little crossover step back. Oh, now that's not nice on Valentine's Day. There's Cupid shooting the arrow. She knows it is Valentine's Day. Country and three-point shooting as well, so it's like, where do you find that weak spot for the Irish?
Kate Caval, 6'5" freshman off the bench for the Irish, looking for that interior pass to Miles. Washenitz ready for it.
Yeah, she is really in tune defensively. I like the way that she moves her head on a swivel. She's always in tune. And I also like the battle defensively now between Hidalgo and Washenitz. You see it going on.
Jump ball to call there, as Hidalgo did get her hands to the ball, so arrow favoring Notre Dame. Notre Dame has made its last 4 field goal attempts, including 2 3-pointers. They lead it by 5, despite the fact that both teams are shooting exactly the same overall, 56%, 5 of 9 from the floor. Just a couple more threes thus far for Notre Dame, the difference.
You know, Pitt also talked about being able to execute in the half court, to choose the pace at which they can play at. And I like how they've just been patient, just passing the ball from one side to the other. And then when they see the opening, they're going for it. It's like the immediate shot. They're going ahead and taking it.
Foul on Kazan Prosper, the sophomore out of Canada. And Michaela Johnson has 4 of Pitt's 10 points so far. Chance to add a couple more. Coming up next, our triple header is capped off by Syracuse and Stanford at Maples Pavilion. Syracuse has won 2 in a row, trying to get their way into that top 9 in the ACC standings. Remember, the top 9 will get a bye in the ACC tournament.
Such a coveted spot, especially this time of year. When you think about, we've seen it with players. A lot of players from Notre Dame didn't even make the trip. A couple of walk-ons were sick. It's just the grind of the season right now. So you're looking at a possibility of a bye an extra day. Yes, you absolutely want to work for that.
9 to shoot for Notre Dame.
Nice take.
Yeah, Citron, that's all you need. 7 points in the game for Citron, the senior. Another 1,000-point score. Which way does it go? Blocking foul as Faye was, again, trying to go to work inside. Caval was called for the foul. Faye. The double team from Citron causing problems now. Faye has to get out of the corner and does. Washinitz.
Yeah, Faye wanted that ball. She had great position.
A lot of dribbling from Washinitz. Can she get out of it? No.
Those are momentum breaking plays, Jen. You know, Washington's trying to create, trying to make something happen. And whereas before they took the first opportunity for the good pass, the good play, that opportunity was getting it back down to Faye. Did you see her calling for the ball? Great position. And it's tough when it ends in a turnover. You lose all that steam.
6th turnover of the game by the Panthers. Miles passes it off to King, the former Panther. Needed a second crack at it, makes good. Now she's a little slow to get up, but No.22 King has become a big part as a grad transfer of what this Notre Dame team is doing this year after really a tremendous breakout season last year here at Pitt in the first year under Tori Verdi. Most improved player in the ACC, No.22 King last year. Faye going to work. Khadija Faye, the grad transfer, started her career at Texas Tech, then went to Texas, and is breaking out in a big way this year.
And she plays with so much energy and so much time on the floor in this game. Here's No.22 coming over the body. Faye slow to get up, and you see grabs the right side of her leg. Looked like she might have rolled her ankle a bit.
Faye on the free throw line. She gets there a lot. Second most attempts in the ACC. That was her 168th, and makes a pretty good clip, 71%.
One of the things defensively that Notre Dame has to deal with, Faye, you see how active she is when she gets the ball, and she's able to really bring in and draw fouls for herself because of how active she is. So you got to either send help, try to limit that movement, and here she draws a jump ball.
Now Miles was coming down like a freight train,
and
was just daring anybody try to stop her, and Pitt did.
If I said, I will meet that challenge, no problem.
Yeah. And one thing to note too, Maddie Westbelt has picked up 2 personal fouls, so she is on the bench for Notre Dame right now. They're going to have to rely on Liza Carlin, the grad transfer from Marquette, Kate Caval, the freshman, to help pick up the space that Westbelt has vacated. Washinitz draws the foul from King, her former teammate, on the 3-point attempt.
You see No.22 King in a face of disbelief, but Washinitz able to be quick with that ball and show a little contact enough to get the call.
I was about to say Washinitz looking like she might have gotten stuck again there with that ball in her hand, just looking, but she found a way to make something of it. Maybe a little lean in after the fact.
Sometimes you gotta sell it, Jen, for it to work, you know? But what I would like to have seen, and even though it resulted in Pitt being able to score some points here, is, yeah, if you don't have something 2 seconds or less, you got to pass that ball and keep it moving, because, again, it's going to suck the energy out of your teammates if you're just sitting there dribbling, trying to create on your own. And that's something that Tori Verdi talked to us today about was, you know, when times are tough, you don't want to start breaking apart and having each player do their own thing. So for Pitt, it's all about staying together tonight, and a 2-point margin between them and Notre Dame.
That's a win so far. If you're breaking this game into chunks.
Got to stay together.
And that has been one of the things that this team has done well. There you see Liatu King, played for Tori Verdi last year. He really helped break her out and produce such an impressive season. All ACC first team selection, along with that most improved honor, had 18 double-doubles. And you can see the huge jump she made last year. And, you know, it's interesting, too. You see a similar progression with what Tori Verdi is doing with Khadija Faye this year.
No doubt. And the fact that he's able to just help Faye's confidence so much to be the beast that she has been in the ACC. That's great defense right there from Liza Carlin.
Relatively quiet start for Hannah Hidalgo so far. Just a couple of free throws for one of the top scorers in the nation. And don't come in here, says Khadija Faye.
That's the defense and the nightmare many ACC players meet on a nightly basis. Khadija Faye coming in to be the heartbreaker. But scoring it here, absolutely not. Great help side defense.
You said she blocks with authority, Brooke. That's her second of the game.
Yeah, it's like embarrassing blocks, right? Like, I think a lot of players will definitely rethink going back in there once you get a taste of how good her defense is.
Now look at her working the glass, coming off a career-high 17 rebounds in Pitt's win on the road at SMU. Their defense had to hang on a couple times in the end to get that 1-point win. Faye also picks up her 1,000th career point as Washington makes it work and brings Pitt back within one. Look how fast the Irish get down the floor. King now with 5. Kayla Elmore, senior transfer from Clemson. About a second difference shot clock and game clock here. Washington, yeah, there it is. Well. This is where she averaged under 6 points per game. She is up to over 18 points per game in conference play. Citron, she's been off to a tremendous start for Notre Dame. Probably haven't talked about her enough, maybe all season for Sonia Citron. 9 points.
I agree. I mean, she's a go-to defender, no doubt, for the Irish. But as we've seen tonight, a terrific shooter and somebody who moves really, really well without the ball. Miles is out there having fun. That's the joy Neil Ivy's talking about.
9 points in the game for Olivia Miles. She is a perfect 3 of 3 from 3. And even though Hannah Hidalgo, who we featured, and for good reason, she's number 2 in the nation in scoring, is 0 for 6 from the floor, look what Notre Dame has to pick her up. Why this team is so dangerous. Battle off the bench for Pitt. Get some points.
And she got some lift on that shot too. That is an available shot for Pitt, especially you think about the pace that they're trying to play with tonight. Travel from Carlin, but Pitt needs to be able to come in waves and different types of scoring too. So you got Faye down there in the block, and then Washington who can create off the bounce or shoot threes. And a great one dribble pull up from Battle in the mid-range.
Battle and Audrey Biggs both back to the bench. Some young players coming off the bench for what is a very short bench. Just 8 active players on this Pitt roster. It's often what the starters do is what Pitt does, so a little bonus there to get some points from Battle when she came in. Westbeld still on the bench with 2 fouls for Notre Dame. Carlin, Marquette transfers out. They're looking at those two go to work, and Denise Brooks had seen enough contact in there. And that will go against Carlin, her first.
Notre Dame's posts are trying to figure out how to guard without displacing the position of Faye, and that's why they're getting calls. It's tough. I mean, she's so lengthy, strong, and just so aggressive with how she gets into position. I mean, look at that seal.
Washinitz. Couldn't hit. Here comes Citron. Mentioned multiple WNBA draft prospects on this Notre Dame team. Citron, another that's right up there. Here goes King. Knows this floor well, having played here for 4 years. Back door. Oh! There's a lot of contact as Miles went down.
Yeah, and that's another look, though, that Pitt really wants to see, right? You get the backdoor play, you can open up the defense. They got to be able to hit those layups. That's 3.
Yeah.
You know, so far just in a quarter and a little bit more of basketball.
And sometimes, Brooke, you realize that the margin of error is so small when you play a team like Notre Dame.
Well, they'd have the lead had they hit those 3 layups, right?
Johnson. Some important baskets in the first quarter for Pitt, not this time. Panthers have yet to hit a 3. Miles 3 all on her own for Notre Dame, who is hitting at a 50% clip from downtown in the first quarter. Brooklyn Miles looking off the defense. 5. Oh, she thought she had that one.
And because Pitt has to play their starters so much, I think she just looked over to Verdi and said, I need a breather. You can see her legs just move a little slower, a little heavier, so he's going to try to sub her out right now.
Plays a lot of minutes, almost 30 per game. Miles just making life difficult. She's going to run out of three-point celebrations the way this thing's going.
I need to know what she's saying right now. Championship teams. It's defensive rebounding period. And having Olivia King on their team has been, she's kind of the emotional leader of this team. She just brings that experience, that next level, and that calmness to this team at a time when they need it. But right now, they need the fire of Olivia Miles.
And they have been getting it. There's Hidalgo getting the loose ball. A couple of free throws, has yet to hit a field goal. Turns it over, fights to get it back. Everybody waiting for a whistle. Finally, one comes. Erin Battle back out there again and doing just what her name implies, trying to hang on to the basketball.
Yeah, anytime you can try to just disrupt what Hannah Hidalgo was doing, I mean, resulting in a jump ball. That's another great win for Pitt in those moments. You see Hidalgo trying to kind of work through, not able to shoot the ball well tonight from outside, so she's going to try to drive and create, and that's a smart play from her.
She is going to continue to get after it on the defensive end. You know that about Hannah Hidalgo. Trying to pop away the steal and then does wind up committing the foul.
And that's a frustration foul. You know, that's more kind of get herself going. You know, she obviously didn't disagree with the foul at all. So she's trying to create something for herself, starting on the defensive end. You can see it.
That was I'm coming for you.
That's right.
Foul. Yeah, I know I did it. And I'm not going anywhere.
And I'll be back.
Panthers swinging it around, getting it to their go-to inside Faye, who cannot finish. Caval gets the rebound.
That's good defense by Caval. Unfortunately, she mishandles the pass here, but that was one of the few successful possessions that Notre Dame has had against her.
Now one-on-one, Faye. Caval holding her own.
Yeah.
Aubrey Biggs, the freshman out of Kentucky, coming in, can't hang on.
And look, Caval, as a 6'5" freshman in this league, has been put through a lot, right? She was, got a lot of minutes early on because of injuries. Of course, Maddie Westbeld out with a foot injury, so she saw a lot of time early. And to try to adjust as a freshman period, and it's a legal screen, Caval was moving, she knows it. And so trying to adjust to the speed, the strength of Division I plus the ACC, it's incredible. So she's was one of the first ones out today and shoot around, getting hook shots up. So she's trying to put in that work and get her confidence to where she knows she can be a part of this league, because she can.
Well, now she's going to have to go to the bench with 2 fouls. So both Caval and Westbeld, excuse me, with 2 personal fouls. Liza Carlin, who was also out at the beginning of the year, 9 games due to a foot injury, on the floor. Washington's first made 3 for the Panthers of the night.
Coming off her fingertips. You could tell she was just really ready to catch, receive, and shoot that ball.
Miles, 4 for 4 from 3. King in the lane, Hidalgo coming to help. Citron having herself a game. 12 points already for Sonia Citron.
You talk about awareness and moving without the ball. I mean, that is such an underrated skill, and Citron saw what was going on, and she just cut right to the basket.
Johnson, there is a foul called on the play as Michaela Johnson, the Colorado transfer, drives. It is Citron's first. As the fouls mount, there is some frustration on that Notre Dame bench.
Sure.
And you and I were talking about this, just looking at this team, even at shoot-around earlier today. Look, they're starting 5. You put that up against anybody in the country, but they don't go that deep on the bench. They don't have that deep of a bench to go to.
Let's take another look at this. Oh, you can see her left hand makes contact with Johnson, so that's where the foul was called. But you can understand the frustration of Ivy. You just look at the foul count, 4-0, but Pitt has done a great job of being extra aggressive, and as you and I both know, usually the team that is more aggressive gets the calls.
And they've also done a good job at the free throw line, 9 for 9 so far. Miles gets it to Citron. The flash, and then the finish.
Doesn't get any better than that, right?
15 now for Sonia Citron. A little extra zip on that assist for Olivia Miles, who, by the way, is #1 in the nation in terms of active career assists. She averages over 6 for her career.
Now watch how much work Miles does. I mean, that's all five Pitt defenders. Literally breaks everybody down and then finds their teammates. You know it. It is Sony and Olivia's night.
They are the 2 tonight so far, along with some points and contributions from King. Miles tapped that ball away. Doing it on the defensive end too. 10-point Notre Dame lead. It was a 1-point lead for the Irish after the first quarter.
Can I say how much I appreciate the on-ball defense in this game? Just all these guards and posts getting after it, but mostly the guards.
Hidalgo still looking for her first basket. Not happening. 0 for 7 from the floor. And this is a player who has been prolific throughout her short career, just a sophomore. Double figures every single game, which is just pretty insane actually, when you think about it. Over 20 in 45 of 56 career games. 5. Her first points of the second quarter. Washington's tasked at the moment with staying with Miles. Picks up the foul. Second on Washington.
I was watching Hannah Hidalgo pull her jersey over her face here, just kind of writhe her hands in frustration. And that is the sign of a different kind of player who knows she's not having her night and trying to shake it off any way she can. And tonight, entering the game, the 14th straight with 20-plus points.
King not to be stopped. 9 points now for Leah Tu King. Johnson. Not a lot of second chance opportunities for the Panthers on the offensive end. Miles make it 5 for 5 for #5. I'm telling you, she's gonna have to dip into her bag of tricks just for the celebrations.
All I have to say, but Olivia Miles has hit all 5 of her 5 shots, including this one. A pull-up 3 natural, just feels so right for her to do it. She's got the ice in the veins. We're in the cold city right now, but oh my goodness, she on fire tonight. 5 of 5, Citron 6 of 6, and a smile from Neil Ivey as the timeout was called.
Brooke, not only is Olivia Miles 5 of 5, but all of those are from 3. And by the way, those 5 made threes matches her career high. We're not at halftime.
Yeah, Olivia Miles sometimes is any given night ready to break a record.
We're not sure which one.
Right, never know.
You know, you're thinking triple-double watch pretty much all the time.
Seeing her first triple-double, having to call for that game was something else.
In her first game back.
Right, I mean, no, I'm sorry, even before that.
Oh, her first back, which
First
started
ever.
her career. Oh, yes. Hidalgo, still no. Citron, fouled by Miles.
You see the undersized Miles at 5'5", Washington's at 5'7". You know, they are tasked with having to go in the paint and do their job trying to swipe at the post and double team when they can. So they've got to be really active, hands ready.
Sonia Citron, an excellent free throw shooter, over 90% this season, and that's been the norm for her. And look where she's gotten up to in the mock draft.
I mean,
3.
Right. I remember at the beginning of the season, there were very few of us that voted her as a top 25 player in the country, and I thought, well, that's crazy. You know, she's got an incredible skill set that is just so underrated.
And maybe a little bit victim of circumstance, just with who is around her on this team. But Notre Dame finally gets Hannah Hidalgo on the score sheet with a field goal. Had free throws, now she has her first field goal. Notre Dame outscoring Pitt 24-11 in this second quarter. Johnson. I mentioned it earlier, but how many times it is one and done. Either it's Faye and it's done in a good way, or it's going down the other way, and Notre Dame is now a perfect 6 of 6 from 3 in this quarter.
And defensively, they pick up a 10-second backcourt violation. Corey Verdi doesn't agree with it, says there's no way. But another momentum defensive play for Notre Dame. They start to extend their lead. Kind of felt like it was coming. We talked about it, and here they are in the second quarter, almost getting up a 30-burger.
And by the way, they are 6 of 7 from 3 in this quarter. Sorry, just want to make sure I get that right. Hidalgo. Faye has been big on both ends. A couple of blocks in the game, hitting the glass for the Panthers, has made some big baskets inside. Is it enough to keep the Panthers close against this juggernaut of a Notre Dame team? Elmore playing really well lately. The foul was called under the basket. And that is now 2 on Liza Carlin. So Carlin, Westbeld, Koval, all with 2 fouls for Notre Dame. We've got a men's basketball triple header next Saturday here in ACC Network. Georgia Tech and Boston College starting the day at 2 Eastern, followed by Chase Hunter and the It's About Time ranked Clemson Tigers in Dallas taking on SMU, and then Virginia Tech and Miami capping the triple header.
Is that like an official slogan now? Is that?
I mean, I think it's fair. Look, I know Kelly Graham, like in studio, is agreeing with me on that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Clemson's one of those teams that seems to have Duke's number every now and then. Kind of knowing the formula, but they do look strong. It was a good game.
Yeah, I mean, Clemson men handing the Duke men their first ACC loss of the season. Will this Irish team make it all the way through unscathed? We'll talk more about that in the second half with what's left on their road to unbeaten. Miles. I was about to say she cannot miss. Apparently she can, but she hit plenty too. 15 points in the game. Miles made her first 5 threes, and Notre Dame now leads it by 15. Thinking about with Miles and Citron in the first half, just one miss between the two of them. And oh, by the way, that includes a lot of three-point shots. And that miss, as you said, came right at the buzzer at halftime. Westbeld in the game with 2 fouls. There is the first miss for Citron. Most important thing for Pitt right now, bro?
To continue to stay together and to play together. So you look at the first half, and they came away with 8 assists. You got 2 players washing it in Faye and double figures, almost a third one in Johnson. She's at 8. So for Pitt, they executed as well as they could, maybe except for a couple of missed layups, right? An opportunity. And Faye trying to draw the foul, and it doesn't get one there.
And that's smart. She is well aware, no doubt, that Westbeld has 2 fouls.
She also has blood coming out of her nose after that play.
And she made the block, but paid the price. So she'll head back to the bench after playing just 5 minutes in the first half. Maddie Westbeld, graduate forward for the less than a minute into our third quarter here. That last play featuring Maddie Westbeld, there was no foul called on the play. However, the referees can look back to see if there was an unobserved intentional foul.
Yeah, just going to be just common basketball contact here, but you see at the end of the play, Westbeld starts bleeding from her nose. You see her wipe it right there. And honestly, it's hard to even find where the contact was made during that play, but she got everything checked out, put a little chapstick on, and said, hey, coach, I'm good to go, I'm ready.
And it's interesting because I would think watching the replay of that, you could say, well, that looks like a foul to me. However, they cannot go back and assess a common foul after review if one has not originally been called.
Right.
So incidental contact is what our officiating crew deemed happened on the play. Leah King back at Pitt, where she started her career, played 4 years before transferring. Citron in the lane. Maybe one too many passes from Liza Carlin in the end.
Yeah, no doubt. Great calling by you, Jen, because Notre Dame overpassed and A little too unselfish on that play.
Carlin will go back to the bench. Westbeld back on the floor, limited in the first half, as we talked about, just 5 minutes after picking up 2 fouls. King off the mark. Hidalgo with the rebound. 4 to shoot. Hidalgo being defended well. It's not necessarily been her night offensively. 1 of 11 from the floor.
And she was sitting on the bench with assistant coach Sherelle Allen. His Faye just shows another skill set, the little half hook. But Hidalgo on the bench with Sherelle Allen just trying to shrug off some of that frustration you can just feel and see from her. And Allen trying to keep her encouraged, stay in this game. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, Faye just got caught up in the back of Leah-Tu King's legs. It will be called a foul on Faye. That's her second personal foul. Leah-Tu King having to wear that mask, took an elbow in the game at Louisville, so this is the 3rd game now that she's had to wear it since then. Miles and Citron leading the way for Notre Dame so far tonight.
Pitt's doing a great job with that dribble penetration. I mean, they have not allowed a whole lot of shots from the Irish inside that ACC part or even closer. The Irish have done their damage, though, from the outside. They say, we see you. We're going to take our dribble penetration away. We'll just hit some threes.
60% of them in the first half, in fact. They're at a measly 56% now from 3, by the way. And right on cue, how about another and a new career high in made threes for Olivia Miles. That is 6. Counting for all 18 of her points.
And I don't think that was a play that went right for Notre Dame. I think that was a 3 that Miles did hit, but just kind of taking a look at how the reaction and the response from the team, they were happy, but also kind of confused. It looked like there was some more movement in passing that should have happened on that play.
Washington.
They'll take the 3.
Got the ball with just a couple seconds there, Brooke. She was in a tough spot. And Westbeld is, again, having some more trouble. She was bleeding. Nose was bleeding after that incidental contact with Faye earlier in the quarter. And Maddie must just be feeling like she can't stay on the floor.
Can't catch a break tonight. What happened? She said, we need you on the floor. She wants her Irish to start hurrying up the speed of this offense. She wants to see more movements and cuts. This is already a different looking team than the last possession.
There is always growth to be had. Both teams will tell you that. And Washington's tried to go behind the back on the steal master, Hidalgo, to get around her. Does draw a foul, the second personal on Hidalgo. I like the way Washington has come to play in this one tonight. And really, and that's not just tonight. She was named captain midseason for this Pitt Panther team because of the way she's been playing and leading them this year as a junior.
Yeah, definitely a big X factor to this team, and has been just so incredibly active both offensively and defensively for this team. So that's what they need. She gives that to them.
Faye not on the floor at the moment as Johnson misses. Hidalgo calls her own number and hits the 3. 7 points now for Hidalgo, who averages nearly 26 points per game, second by a 1/10 of a point only for Tanaya Latson in terms of leading scorers in the nation.
And she's going to still stay in that active mode, that aggressive mode. And once you hit that first shot, finally, you could take that sigh of relief to say, all right, let me get into this game.
Help defense from Citron, causing all kinds of trouble there for Johnson.
This fast break we've gotten accustomed to seeing. Hidalgo saying, you're going to give me a little bit of room. All right. I like the fact that she's still confident in taking that shot, even though it's been a tough night for her, right? Just 2 of 12, 1 for 5 from 3. But to be the it's player, to be that, you have to believe every single shot that you shoot is going to go in. Every single, next play. You forget about the missed shots, the mistakes, and you focus on the next.
And you want to talk about bona fide superstars in this game. Miles showing she absolutely is. How about the other Miles, Brooklyn Miles? 1,000,000 miles an a little too fast after the steal. Love that effort. I'm going to get back to what I was talking about in a second, but love that defensive effort from Brooklyn
Right?
Miles.
Put a pin in that, because we need to take a look at this steal. I mean, this is what Hidalgo does
Yes.
to everybody in the country, and Miles, who has those quick hands as well, getting the best right there on that play. And Hidalgo wants that back. You can feel it. Miles, such a great competitor too, and somebody that's been a few different programs, and now finally here at Pitt in her senior season. She's had some good games. 3 games actually this season with 8 or more assists. So we just saw her defensively, but offensively, she's been a good provider for Pitt.
That was the 3rd foul called there on Washington, so that is something to be wary of. Panthers can ill afford foul trouble with just 8 active players, and those 3 that come off the bench really just kind of come in and give some rest to those starters. Citron, that's how you do it.
Yep, that's a great play.
21 now for Citron.
I mean, again, how great does she move without the basketball? Here's Hidalgo finally getting her steal.
She says, I see you. I see what you did defensively, and I'm going to come right back.
That's right.
Block inside by Caval, and then Johnson just stepped on the baseline. 10-0 Irish run. The #2 Notre Dame Fighting Irish bringing it here in the 3rd. And Olivia Miles took over from there once the whistle sounded. And let's give Pitt some credit, because it was not all Irish. Pitt played an excellent first quarter. It was a 1-point Notre Dame lead. But since then, they are showing why they are one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, it's so hard to keep up with the stamina that the Irish bring, and Tori already knew that the pace was going to be pretty high throughout the game as Hidalgo picks up the foul. He was concerned, hey, can we stay with that, or can we try to manage our pace? We don't have a deep bench to go through, so you have to maximize your starters' minutes.
And you've said it a couple times when I've asked, what does Pitt need? Or you even pointed out they need to stay together. And that is exactly what Tori Verdi told us when we talked to him earlier today. He said, what have you gained from these back-to-back ACC wins? And what good momentum do you want to make sure continues on tonight, regardless of the fact that you've got a really talented opponent in your building? He said, I want to make sure we stay together, because that's where this team can grow. And there are some very winnable games down the stretch for this Pitt team as well.
You definitely have to stay together if you come back by 32 for tying one of the biggest comebacks in NCAA.
You can't casually drop that.
Right? I mean, that's staying together now. That's believing.
Yes, Pitt making some history. Biggest comeback ever in an NCAA game in regulation. Down 32 against SMU. First time those two teams met on this floor earlier this season. Watch out when Olivia Miles is whipping a pass across. You better be on your toes.
Some extra sauce on that pass. I mean, we saw Miles doing this same thing from the opposite free throw line, almost making a basket today. So it's, you get a real understanding of how the speed comes right at you.
Yes. Hidalgo, one of the best in the country, reigning ACC Defensive Player of the Year. She takes it away and makes you pay on the other end so often. Can't knock down the shot. Is in double digits again, as she has been in every single game of her career. And Michaela Johnson gets the basket. She's in double digits too now for the Panthers.
She's had a nice game, mostly defensively at times tonight. Her ability to stop some of the penetration from the Irish in here, taking it right to Prosper. Yeah, one.
Kazan Prosper committing the foul. And the three-point play is good. 11 points now for Michaela Johnson. Miles gets around Battle. Westbeld back in the game for the Irish. Prosper works it with the left, and Miles from the ACC logo, her first two-point basket of the night is good. 20 points in the game for Olivia Miles. We missed her last year.
Didn't we? Women's basketball missed her dearly. Yes. Welcome back.
Khadija Faye, 6 points in the quarter now, 18 in the game to lead the Panthers. Hidalgo fell
Faye.
back and got back into it, but still Faye was able to knock it off of her and retain possession for Pitt. I swear, I think that these Notre Dame guards, they bring out the flair in the opponents. Battle going behind the back, washing its head, the behind the back bounce pass in the first half.
You know, Faye with a little flair, a little bit of versatility. Just like, you know, the post players Notre Dame, of course, and Faye has put in her work in this ACC to be dominant.
Foul on the play. Hidalgo thought she would get the block. Instead, it's a potential three-point play as Raven Boswell, the Georgia Tech transfer, takes advantage.
Yeah, great defense by Pitt, and then it turns to instant offense, and that's the kind of life that may not bring a win tonight, right? And it may. If they are able to keep this up, they will close that gap pretty quickly.
It's an 11-2 run right now, Brooke.
Right? You can make the last 5 field goals, you get a couple stops. Look, there's a lot of time left in this game, and it's not like this team doesn't know how to come back. So even if, you know, if they get the win tonight, it'd be historic. If they don't get the win tonight, it's moments like this that you can absolutely build on, plus the last 2 wins in the ACC. So you take that momentum. Like, this is another good momentum game for Pitt.
Panthers have never beaten a top 5 opponent. In fact, their last win against a ranked opponent came in the 2014-15 season. And the Irish have won 7 in a row in the series. But that's been a good spell here for the Panthers. In fact, the two teams are tied in this quarter, 14 points apiece. And while Faye is doing her work, 20 points, 10 rebounds, another double-double, they are getting contributions from players like Johnson, who draws the foul again. This has been a problem for Notre Dame tonight, playing the defense they want without fouling. That's a third on Westbelt.
Yeah, it's been tough on the interior. You know, Pitt has done a good job of just going right in there, seeking contact, and then making it work.
Apologies, I think they actually called that foul on Prosper. My fault. Well, we have men's lacrosse coming your way. The first one of the season on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Has number 7 Virginia hosting Richmond at Klockner Stadium. Coverage begins Saturday morning at 11:30 Eastern. And Brooke, do you know who the defending ACC champ in men's lacrosse is?
I'm gonna guess, is it right here at Pitt?
There are one of the teams that is playing on the floor today.
Oh, it's Notre Dame.
Yeah, there you
Got
go.
you, okay.
Two-time defending national champ as well.
Oh, Leah Tu King with a great move.
Leah Tu says, enough lacrosse. Back we go to the matter at hand. Westbell got her hand in for the steal. King running the floor. They'll have to reset. Fast break points have been heavily in favor of the Irish. 26-8 in the game. Citron goes back inside to King. They're going to call Michaela Elmore for her second foul.
Here's King with that great footwork, the spin move, and just the extra gather step and step through to finish. And those are the types of moves that, when you think about how is her game going to translate to the next level, where can she make an impact? It's when you see things like that, you're like, all right, you know, I know she's going to be able to put that move on the next level.
King wanting more. Prosper and Pitt tapping it around. It'll stay this end of the floor. I feel like it's been a minute since we've had an Olivia Miles moment. We had a lot of them. Had a lot of them in the first half.
Hold your breath, but not too long. You won't pass out, I promise.
This will be 15 fouls, so Citron will shoot some free throws for Notre Dame. Kayla Johnson called for the foul. There's actually 2 misses from the free throw line tonight for Citron. That doesn't happen very often. She was 48 for 52 on the season coming into this game.
Yeah, I mean, how are you going to make all your threes and then you miss a couple free throws? That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't add up. King coming through and then just lost the handle in the end. Citron tried to bail her out.
You could feel the crowd actually wanted it for King as well. Of course, King played here. And just like the middle linebacker she was on the football team, got the play.
You know what, Brooke? I was going to lead you there.
Come on. That's why we're so good together, Jen. You know it. You know it.
Yeah, this is one of the very interesting notes in the background of Leah Tu King. Yes, you might have known that she played 4 years here at Pitt, but how about the fact that she was a middle linebacker?
Let's go.
Back in the day, middle school all the way up through. She played some football. I like that name of her team, by the way, is Rhinos. You can see her little hair beads hanging out on top.
She's in business as a middle linebacker. You already know the kind of toughness she's going to bring to this team.
5 to shoot, and Faye, the player to do the honors for Pitt, was fouled by Westbeld. That is, in fact, Westbeld's 3rd foul. So Faye will head to the line. 20 points in the game. Already a double-double, as I said, 10 rebounds. Her 12th double-double of the season. And this incredible year that she is having, her grad year with the Panthers. Nine points just this quarter for Khadija Faye, but the lead back to 16 for Notre Dame. Pitt made a run, had that 7-2 stretch, and actually they've still made all 5 of their last field goal attempts.
Yeah, they have really played well in this quarter. It's just the separation and the threes. I mean, that's been the one thing that Notre Dame is, you just can't stop it. What are you gonna do?
I did say 3.
You wanted the highlight, right? You got it now?
Olivia Miles thought you said 3. 23 points in the game for Miles, and the follow-up somehow doesn't go there for Johnson. But Olivia Miles continues to be a threat from beyond the arc. 7 threes in the game.
I mean, the crossover and the little step, I guess step to the side. The Euro step, what do you call that these days? There's so many steps she's able to do and create. It just stands there and admires it because she knows she's one of the best. Like, they went the extra mile. I mean, Party City's not even around anymore. Where do you find those?
You find a way. And Hidalgo also finding a way tonight. It's not been her best game by any stretch. 11 points in the game, well under her average. It's been Miles and Citron, really, who've been stealing the show, if you can even say that fairly. They're certainly stars in their own right. And in fact, Olivia Miles, I told my daughter, she admittedly is not a big basketball fan. I said, all right, I'm going to have you watch one player. And it's that one right there, number 5. I said, you watch her for a game and you tell me that's not exciting. I'll throw that dare out to anybody.
Absolutely. I mean, she is must-see TV.
23 points tonight, 7 of 9 from 3.
Good defensive move by Hidalgo coming over there just to be a bother. You see how it adjusted Faye's shot.
She works so hard, Hidalgo, both ends of the floor. Does not take this defensive end of the floor lightly. Westbeld, well, welcome back, Maddie. First points of the game as she has struggled with a bloody nose, foul trouble. Now finally she adds to the score line.
And the awareness to do the quick little step back so she makes sure her feet are behind the 3.
Miles slowed down maybe just enough. We'll see. No, she's going. No, can't get the finish. Told you.
That's the most highlight in this shot you're going to see, though. She had everybody fooled.
Erin Battle, sophomore, is given some good minutes off the bench tonight for the Panthers. But it has been rough going in terms of the offensive glass. Not a lot of second chances. Miles, a rare miss on the night from 3. As I mentioned, she's got 7. That is 1 off the school record in terms of made threes in a game. Anybody going to stop Erin Battle? Eventually, Notre Dame did. Miles.
Oh, I was expecting a 3 there.
It was too open. She had that. She had that in her pocket.
In the bag. In the bag.
Just when you think you know what is going to come from Magic Miles, as our friends in the studio like to call her, she gets up to 25 points like this.
This is incredible. A Euro with a spin move and a little English on the backside. Come on. Miles, you just got it. She's sitting there counting to 3. She's like, I'm not sure I got enough fingers to handle tonight on my 3 balls. She's 7 for 10 tonight, which is a career high. It's so much fun to watch her game just grow from her freshman year and through the adversity of her ACL tear, all that work that it takes to get back out on the floor and to play with even more confidence that you had before. I mean, that's the real testament, is how hard she worked to get back and be even better.
Yeah, no doubt. An All-American 2 seasons ago, and then last year missing the entire season and having to come back from that and dazzle the crowd. It's like she added a little bit of the dazzle factor. She certainly added a more consistent 3-point shot as Faye hits the follow-up. Khadija Faye having another big game for Pitt tonight.
Ooh, Kassan Prosper with the move. She said, I see you, Olivia. Let me do my own Euro step.
It's contagious, I'm telling
That's
you.
right.
Teammates and opponents at times. Foul before Faye can get herself set. She gets knocked down. And Westbeld picks up number 4. It's been that kind of a night for Maddie Westbeld. She'll go back to the bench. Little spurts on the floor here and there, but never really able to get herself into a groove.
I took a couple of shots to the face, too. That will always make it harder to get in there.
So tonight, you think about 2 starters for Notre Dame really haven't been themselves. Maddie Westbeld and Hannah Hidalgo. I mean, this is a player, yes, she's in double figures as she's been in every game of her career, which is ridiculous. But 11 points is well below her average. She normally is at least getting a 20. And this team is still winning by a hefty margin.
It's incredible, right? They're human and they're still incredibly good. So there was a game, the Virginia Tech game, where between Hidalgo and Miles, they had combined 45 points, and I think they were the only 2 in double figures in that game, yet they still got the win. So that's what great teams do. They find ways to win, even at the nights where not everybody's on their game, and maybe, a step slower than they want to be in certain areas, but they're working through that, right?
Kayla Johnson stepped up, 15 points tonight for the Panthers. Inside it goes, an assist for Hidalgo, finding Liza Carlin. Washington steps back, drains it. Oh, and then had a little look at her old teammate, Leah King, who's immediately calling for it right back in the paint. I couldn't tell if that was playful or a little feisty.
It could have been a little bit of both.
I think maybe.
And that's all right. I feel like that's been welcomed in this game. Like, it's been competitive, it's been really physical, but it has not been dirty. And that's the kind of games you just love to see. I mean, both teams are so prideful in their defense. They want to make sure they get as much stops as they can, and that's what we're seeing.
Spin move, a little too much movement on Faye with the turnover.
All right. Here's that 3 ball, so let's see. Remember when I used to do this in practice?
Is that what she said?
I don't know. That's what I'm guessing.
Hidalgo working off the screen from Carlin. No time to rush into the paint. Miles, Brooklyn Miles up to Washington.
Citron and Hannah Hidalgo said, you ain't doing that again. You're not getting another 3 on our watch.
This team does take a lot of pride in its defense. As you said, the first thing Neil Ivey talked to us about when she sat down after shoot-around today, the defensive improvement. That's good work. Carlin, 4 points, all of those coming this quarter.
She's getting good minutes off the bench tonight.
And Citron now with the double-double. 22 points, 10 rebounds in the game. Faye, such a lot to handle for any opponent for the Panthers.
And even the shots where she's taking that off balance, I mean, you still think that they can go in. She's got a real line drive approach about the way that she shoots.
She shot putted one in earlier, and it was perfect.
100%.
That is a foul on Faye, her third. Send her to the bench. Panthers will be back home against Virginia on Sunday. We'll have that game for you on ACC Network at 2 p.m. So you get a look at what they've got left on their schedule. And I mentioned this earlier, and this is, you never say this with disrespect to the teams that are on there, but there are a lot of teams that are bottom half of the ACC, and this is an opportunity, perhaps, for Pittsburgh to pick up some more conference wins down the stretch and take some confidence maybe. Yeah, it's a big margin of victory for Notre Dame, but they do that to everybody.
Yeah, well, they're coming off of 2 straight ACC wins and an impressive showing, I think, tonight. And so who knows what that momentum and that confidence can do for a team late in the season.
Still trying to build under Torrey Verdi in just his second year. And this team, let's not forget, took a couple of hits, losing 2 starters within, I think it was days of each other earlier this season. Really changed what they could try to do. Tough shot for Hidalgo. Might be forcing a little bit here, as it's been a frustrating night offensively. She is 3 of 17 from the floor.
Yeah, I think.
And of course, you mentioned the toughness of the triangle. Duke, North Carolina, NC State, all 3 of those teams ranked. Final quarter here in Pittsburgh. Panthers hosting the #2 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Have frustrated the Irish at times, but Olivia Miles was not to be denied tonight. She and Sonia Citron in particular, near flawless in the first half. And pretty darn good in the second half, as that ties a Notre Dame record that goes back to 1998. Most threes ever in a game, 8.
And I'll bet you we'll see some more. I have a feeling, as you see tonight, the Irish as a team have made 14.
Yeah.
Most in ACC program history. And I mean, Miles almost, well, she had a half of those herself.
Yeah,
wow.
more than 8 of them.
8 of them, excuse me.
So if the record watch you're keeping there, yes, it is 14 team threes for the Irish, which is a record in an ACC game all time, and 8 threes for Olivia Miles, which is a program tying record, one that has stood since 1998. No Mabry's in there. That's surprising.
Okay, if you were going to say who was the last player, I would have just mentioned one of the 3 Mabry's. It's got to be.
Offensive foul on Carlin, turns it over.
Yeah, so many good 3-point shooters to come through the Irish program. Michaela, Marina, and Dara, certainly 3 of the best to do it.
Michaela, obviously, still on the bench as assistant coach. This great staff for Neil Ivey. Sherelle Allen, also an assistant coach who we know has a ton of family and friends at the game. What was it, like a bus and a half load?
Yeah, there's Sherelle Allen standing up right there. Yeah, a busload and extra 20 people to come through. Of course, she's from the Pennsylvania area, was considering Pitt and Penn State as her schools, but decided to go to Notre Dame. And yeah, she was almost as much a celebrity as Olivia Miles and Hannah Hidalgo when they walked in.
And there's Michaela Mabry. Washington's. Faye, good to see her calling for it again inside. It's a little bit gingerly, the last dead ball. Olivia Miles, 28 points on the night. She's not done yet. There's still time on the clock. There is a shot to be had for Olivia Miles.
Well, especially in transition. I mean, that's where she feels so comfortable pulling up.
5 assists, 5 rebounds. In case you're wondering about the triple-double watch, Olivia Miles does have 6 in her career, which is tied for the most by any ACC player all time. And that leads us right into tonight's player of the game, brought to you by Bombas. No surprise there.
Well deserved, and just a terrific night for Miles, who picked up, and for Hannah Hidalgo having a tough shooting night. And the way that Pitt started this game, you needed something and from somebody, and Olivia Miles delivered with the threes, and then just her ability to get her teammates involved. I mean, that's one of the reasons Notre Dame, gets on those offensive spurts. It's because it's ignited by the work of Miles.
This Notre Dame team is certainly operating at its highest level when you get really both Hidalgo, Miles clicking together. And tonight it was more Miles and Citron, and that's okay. Let's not forget Citron either.
As long as it's at least one.
You get 2, you're feeling fine. You get 3, you're in extra special territory, and that's really where this team is, to be honest. Final minute coming up. Sarah Cernugal into the game for the Irish in these final seconds now.
And that's a shot that Kate Cavall was working on in shoot-around today, that little half hook. So when she starts to feel more just confident and the game has slowed down for her a bit in the post, that's going to be a secret weapon for the Irish.
So we're aware of most of the other weapons. Now you're saying there might be more.
Well, I mean, they do say pick your poison. So you got the first dose, the second dose, and if that doesn't work, keep going down the line.
Johnson. Miles, quick glance up at the clock. What does she want to do in these final few seconds? Well, if you're not going to guard her, she's going to do that. Good follow-up by the freshman Cavall.
It's almost like Olivia was given too much time to shoot that 3. She needs a little pressure.
Battle. Lost it, and 7.8 seconds left. It's going to stay with the Panthers. Have to regroup for their game on Sunday. Notre Dame heads back home to take on Duke next. They're going to want Hannah Hidalgo feeling more like herself in that game for sure. 88-57 though, the Irish once again getting it done in impressive fashion and getting their 17th straight win.
Yeah, just rolling through the ACC. A great start to this game for Pitt, but the Irish were able to find Miles, find Citron, and just find their weapons. Even on a night where Hannah Hidalgo didn't do quite her best, the Irish still shine.